some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, doo-dah day.
We'll give that another try. Okay, it worked that time. Evidently, I forgot to click in the correct square. Well, hello, I am Dan Hollifield. Welcome to Last Man Standing. Yes, there was a stupid o'clock tonight, and it was absolutely gorgeous. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. With me tonight, we've got Joe Bachman, and we got Joe Dog for a little bit, probably not for very long. Let me switch this over here to, there we go.
And we did beautifully that swap over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just as our show ended, it goes through the static and quits. When that static quit, your show started.
I have learned that if I wait till the 3-second mark in the countdown and then hit the second go live button, it actually counts to 0 and then boom, you're on.
Yeah. But
and
yeah,
I purposely done my opening credits so that even if it doesn't pick up everything, I've got that little buffer recording in there at the beginning and then sketchy shit and then the opening theme.
I gotta make a new opening theme now. I just thought about that.
Yeah, you do.
what happened?
Change the name of the show.
Change the name of my Wednesday night show. Since we got more than just wood burning and crochet on there, I've been doing 3D printing. Richie's been coming on with chainmail.
Foxy comes on and makes jewelry.
Yep.
Thesis comes on and does journals.
I might have to start dropping in on that, coming in on that show and make jokes.
You and Kiri, we will put in your own little echo chamber. And I don't even have ops there, so.
Yeah, I got to behave over here. I don't know what your limits are, Dan, but man, I got some good ones.
Let's just call it green room light. You can be off color, but you can't be full on green room.
Okay. No, I was visiting my dad today, and one of his friends showed up. And let's just say I get my talent naturally.
I haven't met your dad, have I?
No. He thinks we're a bunch of weirdos, so
No lie
He's
detected.
not wrong.
and Dad was in one of his moods, and he leaned over and did what he normally does.
And you had to reply in kind, didn't you?
Let's just say mine was real quiet.
Oh,
Apple
And
didn't far fall from the tree, did it?
it was one of those. He sat there and he went, "Oh," he goes, it wasn't wet, but oh God.
Genetics will out.
Needless to say, I'm just sitting there, and Donna goes, "You're an ass."
And both you and your dad say, "Huh? You noticed? Okay."
And I went, "What?" She goes, "That was you."
Gonna have to turn on the air conditioner on high.
And his friend runs out of the room screaming like, we actually did it in his lap, but he turns and goes, "Why do you do that to me? You cut parts and I get blamed for them." Yeah, one time after his colonoscopy, you know how you have the
Not that I've had a colonoscopy, but I know people who have.
long story short, he comes back in the room, he cuts, I cut. He cuts, I cut. Nurse comes in, she goes, "Woo! A good cleanse, you're supposed to cleanse before you come in, but the doctor didn't see anything, but wow." I'm just sitting there.
If I was your dad, I just looked at her and told you it's this damn hospital food. It ain't no good.
A few days later, he looked over at, we were somewhere doing something, and he goes, "I can't believe my farts were that bad after that. That was so embarrassing." And I just started giggling. He goes, "What?" And I went, "Nothing." He goes, "Oh, he goes, "That you're get out of here."
Chip off the old block.
I miss Bowater on 75.
You're gonna have to enlighten me here. I'm clueless.
Bowater, the paper mill.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what a paper mill smells like. I've been through Sweetwater, Tennessee.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's in Sweetwater. We were headed up to the Bristol Motor Speedway. He got to smelling it. He goes, "Oh, you're." I go, "What?" He goes, I said, "That ain't me." He said, "Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was." I said, "He has power windows." I said, "Don't roll the window down." He said, "Oh, hell no." He rolls the window down and we get full blast of it. Told you.
Now, remember when my family was going through Sweetwater, there was no such thing as power windows or air conditioning in vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was a summer day, the windows were down because you had that 460 air conditioning with all four windows down and 60 miles an hour. I do believe Dad hit 75 getting away from Sweetwater, Tennessee. And for Dad, that's a feat. Mama was a speed demon, or still is. Good Lord. I assume Daddy has slowed down now that we've had him cremated. I don't know. Uh,
We
he probably got he probably got a tractor burning nitro in heaven right now.
Women don't understand GPS, guys, and GPSs. You know, when it gives you the arrival time.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to beat it by a few minutes.
Yeah, you got to.
Not me. I'm gonna stop at Arby's on the way to wherever it is I'm going. If I see an Arby's, I'm gonna stop and buy some sandwiches. Then I'll go back to driving.
When I left my house Saturday morning, it said we were going to pull into the hotel at 9:01 a.m. We stopped in Dalton. I didn't put the stop in Dalton in. We stopped in Dalton, picked up Chris, went to the bathroom. You know, did our bathroom breaks. Headed on down. And we had to stop again for something. We pulled in at 9 o'clock.
You're not supposed to outdrive the state patrol cars, Show Dog. They get pissed about that.
Last year, it was just me and Chris that went down. I just rebuilt the entire front end of the car. New shocks and brakes on the back. We're rolling. I'm going, damn, Chris, we must be getting close to Atlanta. All this damn slow-ass traffic. And he goes, yeah. I said, I might want to slow down a little bit. He says, why? And I said, we're over 100.
No.
Felt like we were doing 80.
That's why I'm glad the Toyota and the van both have cruise control. I can get right on up to 3 over and hit the button, and as long as I don't run into somebody going real slow in one of the 3 lanes going north, I can maintain that.
Yeah, I remember what it was. We didn't stop. They were transporting 2 earth movers, the big wheeled earth movers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that the axles were on one truck, the power unit was on another truck, cab was on another truck, and the bucket was stretched on the truck and tilted up. Tilted, it was down. You know, so it wouldn't be so wide going down the road.
Yeah.
And tractor trailers didn't want to pass them for 10 miles.
Why take a chance?
It's a 3-lane fucking highway, damn it. The thing was in the slow lane.
Well, get all the way over in the fast lane and go around all of them.
Oh, I mean, I was getting aggravated.
I see that every time I'm going to Dalton or every time I'm going to Chattanooga. I'll try and stay in either the middle lane or the slow lane, as long as the slow lane is not slow poking. But I'll try to stay out of the, oh my God, you're going to get a ticket lane.
Well, there's a stretch of I-20 in Alabama, just right before Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get in the left lane. It's only a 1.5 mile stretch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the unmarked car comes out of the woods, a tow truck's following it.
Oh, hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Yeah. I mean, where they fucked up is they pulled over the governor's wife and impounded her car.
Oh, I bet there were repercussions from that one. Somebody had to
invest.
take an early retirement.
No, they said she was driving in the fast lane. Well, Alabama law says you have to, the police has to follow you in the left lane for 2 miles. Their stretch
Is
is
1
only a
mile
mile,
long.
is a mile and a half. And since she couldn't pay, they have credit card readers
Mm-hmm.
in the car to where you can pay your fine right there.
Oh, that just screams abuse, or the possibilities of same.
And investigations have come out that 60%, over 60% of this little town's budget comes from police fines.
There's a town down here that used to be just like that till Georgia DOT built a bypass around it.
Mm.
And they couldn't change the speed limit on the DOT bypass like they had. That they'd put a 25-mile-an-hour sign right behind a tree and then pull over anybody that went to one of the two incorrect package stores in the town. So they had two reasons to get you. One for speeding without knowing the speed limit had changed, and one for you ain't from around here, boy. We don't allow people to go to them other two stores.
Yeah, but long story short, the governor's launched an investigation. Alabama Highway Patrol's has launched an investigation. The ABI has launched an investigation. The judge, the police chief, the judge, and the mayor. When if you want to go in front of the judge and fight it,
Mm-hmm.
you always lost. But you could appeal it, and every appeal gets overturned. The mayor goes, that's what we hired the police chief for. Police chief says, I'm following the laws.
Well, this little town that I was talking about, they tried lowering the speed limit on the bypass. It got as far as the governor of the state. And he said, hell no, we know you're a speed trap. You've been famous for it for 50 years. You ain't changing our speed limit. You go back and sit in your own podunk little town and collect tickets from people that are too dumb to use the bypass. Basically, no, we got on the outskirts of that town. We went to about 15 miles an hour all the way through it. I mean, it's a little bitty town. Didn't take 5 minutes. And yeah, we saw the tree covering the speed limit signs on both sides, especially in the wintertime when it didn't have no leaves on it. Surprised they didn't make it an evergreen tree, but it was obviously a camouflaged speed limit sign. Oh, there was another town north of Athens. They were known for handing out speeding tickets until the state got there and checked their radar guns, which tracked an oak tree backing up at 70 miles an hour. They lost their radar license for 15 years, I do believe. Hey, they had been abusing it for 2 or 3 times that long.
Yeah.
Just you couldn't get a mile above the speed limit without getting a ticket. And that you could see them sitting on either side of the road, ready to go either way. I mean, it was kind of famous for being a speed trap. And then a lot of people started taking a different highway and not going through there at all. And all the local businesses went down. They couldn't even keep a Waffle House open in that town. Nobody would drive through it. It's amazing how many little hole in the wall towns around here try and pull that stuff till somebody important gets stung, and then all of a sudden they learn the error of their ways. And there has to be excessive punishments, otherwise they'll just teach it to the next generation that this is a good way to make money.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll say about our little town is the chief, like, he doesn't pull you over unless it's actually something that's going to stick. Which our town attorney has really applauded him for, because we've had chiefs in the past where, it's a 25 and you're doing 27 and they're pulling you over.
Mm. Most judges down here would throw that out and call the officer back in their chambers and chew them out for wasting the court's time. Sometimes you never saw that officer again for some strange reason. The chewing out was that thorough.
Yeah.
You don't waste a judge's time anywhere down here. There ain't no guilty, but I got one hell of a story for you. No, that don't float.
Yeah. Oh. I really want to try and get that print going to see if re-leveling this bed just worked.
Well, we'll wait. And
No,
Zach,
because I'm gonna
get the
stream it.
link. Oh yeah, you want to stream? Yeah, okay. Zach, if you want to pop in and join us, you're still in the links in list as far as I know. So you've got the link if you're feeling well enough to come on camera. It's up to you. We're no pressure.
Isn't he still on a cruise?
He might be. Yeah, it's after cruise time. I don't know where he's going to go.
On a boat.
No, I mean the ports are all closed. You're just out there cruising along in the Gulf of Stupidity and
smile and wave at the natives.
Yeah, really. It'd be nice to stop and have a burrito and a beer, but we're not allowed.
I think I found it.
Oh, Lord.
I wasn't aware that you'd ever lost it.
All right. Yeah, I found it. I will post it into the stupid o'clock.
Okay. Appreciate the invite. Got back this morning. Unfortunately, got cruise crud. I'm sorry, Zach. You didn't need any of that. And like con crud, it's almost unavoidable.
Mm-hmm.
You got to triple up on your vitamin C and wear a mask. And
well, cruise crud, hell, you get people from all around the damn world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty much how we got COVID into the country.
Yeah.
Well, that and airplanes.
Well, there was that one when COVID first hit. There was that one cruise liner that even the damn captain had it, and they wouldn't let them dock anywhere.
I forget how long they were quarantined on the boat.
It was a while.
About a
course-
month, I thought.
Yeah. Of course, what was funny is some of the cruise staff, when all the cruise liners shut down, the cruise staff got to go to first class rooms
Mm-hmm.
and lived in first class rooms for 6 months.
Well, if that's all it's empty. Oh, let's see what you medicating yourself with here. Whoop. Hit myself with everything from allergy med to Mucinex and Mucinex day and now night, Robitussin, and 3 power emergency electrolytes. Powdered ones, instead of powdered one. Really, I mean, with the powered ones, you've got to keep replacing those C batteries.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Zach,
Oh.
I'm going to tell you right now. Keep your Robitussin. Get Sudafed. Not the Sudafed. And Vicks Vapo Rub.
Don't eat the Vicks Vape. That'll upset your stomach.
Not more than a teaspoon a day.
Oh, that's going to burn in the morning. Come on, ice cream. Oh dear.
But yeah, there are plenty of times that I've been sick as a dog. I've been throwing all this stuff at. I finally grabbed the jar of Vicks Vapo Rub. Next day, man, cough's gone, everything.
I've finally shaken off the cough, except for maybe twice during the night. And I've got a bottle of cough medicine next to the bed. But
Cracking is not cough medicine, Dan.
huh?
Cracking is not cough medicine, Dan.
No, it's NyQuil. That's
Oh.
what's next to the bed. I got Dayquil on my desk. We ain't going in for half measures.
Do you remember that episode of Beverly Hillbillies where Granny had the absolute cure for the common cold? Had all the investors lining up for it?
Yeah.
And Jed goes, yeah, works every time. 7 to 10 days after you start taking it, cold's gone.
Yeah. Mustard poultice and something else is up.
Yeah, it was like a mustard poultice, some menthol thing, and a shot of her rheumatism medicine.
Mm.
Hey, now, don't knock Granny's rheumatism medicine. It might not knock out your cold, but it'll make you where you don't care that you got a cold. That's some good stuff right there. I think Aunt Donna has a line onto the absolute supplier of Granny's rheumatism medicine.
I need to get another batch prepared.
I keep wanting to make a cherry cheesecake and use the Old Smoky moonshine infused cherries on top.
Ooh.
Yes, I never claimed that I wasn't evil. Um,
I'm gonna tell you, I might have you make up one.
that would
Don-
be nice if I knew how to make a cheesecake, but I'm not that far along in my skills yet. Hey, Thesis.
Yeah, the lady
Evening,
that
lady.
raised my wife, after while her mom was right before her mom passed away, she had somebody taking care of her. She brought us a cheesecake Monday.
Uh-huh.
I went into the kitchen last night and I saw it. I said, "Oh, that's what I want." Started pulling it down. My son goes, "No, that piece is mom's." I said, "What do you mean that piece is mom?" Whole cheesecake. He goes, "No, I left her one piece."
Didn't leave you any.
Needless to say, I was pissed.
Don't write
Yeah.
him out of the will. Just leave him with the property taxes.
Yeah. Well, I admit I'm old school in raising. He used to sneak in and steal my sodas out of my room. And
Oh
I go to
dear, I
get
think I know where this is going.
I go, I would buy 4 12-packs to last me the month. A week into it, I'm down to a pack and a half. I asked who drank it. He said, "I just had a couple of them." I said, "You've drank them all." Donna and Megan didn't. I said, "You like my soda, you like my Mountain Dew so much. We're going to drink Mountain Dew tonight." I handed him one. I said, "Drink it." He goes, "What?" I said, "Drink it." I said, "No, kill it." By the time he did it, psh, drink it. He drank a 6-pack in about 4 minutes.
That's rookie numbers.
Well, he's not a programmer.
Yeah. Well, you got to realize he didn't have time to burp.
Still rookie numbers. I still stand by my statement.
Well, 6 of them in about 4 minutes, belly gets a little bloaty.
Mhm.
And you feel so much better after you sound like Godzilla.
Well, needless to say, he was still piling on top of the bubbles. And then actions contrary to swallowing.
Yes.
Needless to say, next day I said, "You want one of my Mountain Dews?" He goes, "No." I said, "You sure?" "Yeah." Week later, "You want one of my Mountain Dews?" "No, don't want any of your Mountain Dews. I'll get my own."
Yeah, you spend your money. Quit wasting mine. And Thesis is right. I don't know why it works, but it does work. Feels like you're walking on frogs, but somehow it helps.
Thesis, are you sure you are not from the South? Because that is a Southern cure.
Yes, it is.
And
Along with, before you have any hair on your chest, having your entire chest slathered with Vicks Vapor Rub and then told to go to bed.
in a sweatshirt, a tight
Yes,
sweat.
so that you don't get any on the sheets.
Yeah,
Because Granny ain't washing them damn sheets for nothing.
yeah. But
And
yeah,
she's using one of them old-fashioned washing machines with a wringer that comes off the side
Yeah.
The kind that's called a mangle for good reason, because there's so many people got mangled in them.
Mhm.
But
And
yeah,
they-
I absolutely agree with Thesis. The even if the VIX is warmed up a little bit, it's even better. Of course, it feels like fire on the end of your feet once you get them.
So you're walking on hot frogs. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
And I do remember somebody talking about, not a teaspoonful, but eating a little bit of it.
That I have never been instructed to do. Wouldn't have occurred to me on my own either.
And since we got talking about Vicks, I got a bag of Halls right here. I'm gonna get me one of these honey lemon.
Oh, there we go. I got the Kroger version.
You got the Kroger version. I splurged.
Oh, you got the True Value version, right?
Oh.
Well, they're all made by Vicks. I mean, seriously. I learned enough about that.
Even the damn wrappers.
Mm-hmm. And they're folded the same way too.
Exactly.
I mean, I realize there's probably very few ways to actually twist tie a cough drop, but somebody has copyrighted all of them. I'm sure, probably David Crosby. He seems to have copyrighted everything else on Earth.
No, that's that guy from the Eagles.
No, it was Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and yeah, David Crosby. Yeah.
Okay. I know the guy from the Eagles, Don Henley, has 500 lawyers and 2,000 people to watch YouTube.
Oh yeah. just in case somebody plays one of his videos or an Eagles video.
Yeah. Or song or whatever. Oh, and you can't say anything about, but damn it.
It gets edited
Yeah.
quickly. Yeah.
We don't want Tom Cruise's gang showing up.
That's pretty easy to pull off. I don't mention him or watch any film that he's in or participate in any activity he has a part in.
Well, the group that he's highly associated with.
I wouldn't know what that is.
It was based off a book from a science fiction writer.
Oh, that group. Yes.
Yeah. You can't even say their name.
Zach,
Church camp didn't take all your money.
Church camp didn't decree that you had to go out and earn more to turn over to them and talk the rest of your family and everybody else you know into giving them all of their money too. However, South Park did a nice thing about them, so I'm not that I'm a fan of South Park, but yay.
And the only problem is they went up against Paramount, and Paramount's got lawyers on retainer too.
Yeah. When you think you've got infinite amount of money and you finally find somebody else who actually does.
Yeah.
These are the days.
Hmm.
Church camp made me pay them to work there. Sounds typical.
I ain't gonna say nothing. That sort of sounds like something I know of in October.
Well, yeah, I have been made to pay to work there, but I had a good time and got free beer and free food, so I consider it an even trade. Oh,
Well, don't feel bad. I buy my badge, Donna's badge, Greg's badge, and anybody else that shows up.
I do. I don't know if we've discussed this before, Joe Dog, but uh, unless we can find somebody to come and feed the cats for us while we're away in October, Lindsay will not be needing a table. She won't be attending with
Aw.
me. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm trying to get her to find anybody that's willing to come feed cats twice a day. Um,
Auto
we,
feeders.
the ones outside, the raccoons and the possums would just come in and empty them out in one day, and we'd be gone for 4.
Well, I guarantee you the ones outside could survive on their own.
Well, yeah, but I don't really want to clean up where they've been eating possums and raccoons. Uh, and believe me, there's a couple of them that would cheerfully do so. Even though the possums and raccoons are twice their size, that just means there's good eating on them things. Um, as long as they don't ask me to cook it for them.
Oh,
No, the ones inside we could set up with gravity feeders. That would work. The dog will be in a kennel. That would work.
no,
It
not a gravity feeder, an auto feeder. It's battery operated. And at set times, it dumps food,
dumps some out. Yeah.
a certain amount of food.
Yeah. You don't know my cats very well, do you? They'd have that damn thing disassembled inside of 15 minutes and the food dumped all over the floor. It's much better to just let a little trickle out as they empty out the bowl. We can set it up with there's enough of them to put basically 15, not 15, 12 gallons of gravity fed cat food for the 3 that would be in the house. And believe me, they're greedy enough. They'd go through 4 pounds a day.
I love watching the videos of the auto feeder on cats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people set their camera up, and you know the cats just all be sitting there, and just all of a sudden, you see one of them perk his head up. The others park their heads up, and just full blown tear at the kitchen, knocking each other out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you
So
have 2 or 3 of the damn things sitting different places.
Oh, they do, but it's
we have one of the auto feeders for our 2 cats, and every time it goes off, you'll see Bread's head just kind of perk up and look over. It's like, yeah, your crunchy bits are ready for you, and he'll hop down from where he's at, go out there, crunch, 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 come back in.
Yeah, I'm
and then
hoping we can find somebody that's willing to come by and feed the cats while we're gone. If so, we'll be getting the tables again. If
they
not, I will have to apologize to you because um, well, I may have to get one on my own because I'm not going to be up on the dais with the other famous people again. So
We're except for Stephanie, it's going to be an entirely new batch up there.
that's great. That's great.
I mean, I don't know if you've noticed there was new authors this year that weren't there last year,
I was one of them. Yeah.
and the year
I
before
didn't notice that.
there were new authors the year before that
Uh-huh.
weren't there last year.
I didn't
I
notice
try
that
to
either.
rotate, and one of the reasons, I'll be honest with you, one of the reasons I do that is I've got starting to train my people. If you don't buy their book now, you may not get a chance to buy another one. And I'm sure you sold a few books sitting up there, didn't you?
I sold about 6. And it was all to people that had never heard of me before in their life.
Yeah.
Because everybody that has heard of me has already bought a copy of everything I've got out.
Well, no, because Trey bought something from you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She had never gone to an online store and bought one, but because she wanted an autograph, which I was glad to supply. There's that ceremony there that gives you a deeper connection with your reader. I like that. I really do. Especially when I can remember what their name is.
I admit, guys, I'm actually considering doing an AI book. No.
I'm merely
and on the cover, it will say this book completely written by AI, not this fool's name at the bottom. What? It's honest?
I'm just waiting on the punchline.
That is the punchline.
You need to punch it up a little. No, I'm waiting for the 5th book to come out where I have done the cover art and somebody accuses me of doing AI cover art. Because I'm going to do one of the best oil paintings I know how to do. And it's going to be as photorealistic as I can make it. And I'm sure some idiot is going to say, "Oh, I hate AI book covers." And I'm going, "Well, good, because I hand painted that, you son of a bitch." Hey, y'all have seen my artwork. It's been on display for years.
I see you, Dan. I've seen your artwork every time I set up a show.
Oh, the government's sending out a message. That's a loud ring.
What?
Ooh, I just had a really loud ringing in my ears.
Oh, that's probably some senator begging for money for re-election. No, I really ought to bring the leather jacket that I painted the back of, even though it's way too small for me now. I don't think I could zip the damn thing up anymore because I'm too fat. But the painting on the back was used in both Tom Darby books, the one that's not quite out yet and the one that is out and has been for quite some time. But that was real. I actually did that, and people look at it and go, "You did that?" And I go, "Well, yeah, it's kind of simplistic, but it's good enough for going down the road on a motorcycle with, even though I don't have a motorcycle anymore that actually runs."
Talking about the artwork, I commissioned Dimitri to do a painting for us.
Yes, and that ought to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a second. Where'd you go? There you are.
What have you got there? Oh, all of your pets that across the Rainbow Bridge?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
It's not the full painting, but
No, but you did allow him to harvest this for prints as well to sell on his own. I hope.
well, I've got the original hanging in the living room now, but I mean, he can use that as, one of the this is what I can do.
Yeah.
But I love it. Bella is the one that's up front, close at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then there's Jerry, who was also Donna's dog. And then Cuddles the cat. And there's my Ozza and Annie. But that look on Ozza's face is just, oh my God. I mean, back out because he sent some more pictures that were just unreal.
Oh, Dimitri is amazing.
Yes.
Oh, well.
I mean, seriously, he makes me look like I'm a doodle artist.
Yeah. But yeah, you've heard me tell the stories of Ozza, the white dog, how she's always into shit. He's got her looking like this out of the corner of her eyes, like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And that,
and you can't stop me.
yeah, it's one of those. Yep. I mean, we had, the the invisible fence thing. No.
I bet that worked really well.
I had it turned up to where she could only go to a certain part of the backyard. And we'd be out there, and all of a sudden I'd see her. Don't you dare. No. And ran all the way. If she went down the side of the house, right through here in front, where down my driveway, it would hit her and zap her. I mean, she couldn't even be able to come into this room with the collar on. But when the urge hit her to run, there wasn't nothing that was going to stop her.
I don't even believe my 6-foot chain link fence would stop any of our. The cats already know how to get in and out of it with no trouble. The dog, I'm fairly sure she could jump the damn thing if she wanted to.
One day
she's too big to get through any of the holes that the cats have made.
Yeah.
But the cats didn't dig much. They just found where there was just enough opening between one of the gates and the fence proper to where they could squeeze. As long as they could get their head through, they could get the rest of themselves through.
Yeah. Because I think their shoulders and hips fold up, don't they?
I think they just kind of deflate and then reinflate once they get outside. It's like watching a balloon crawl through a hole.
Yeah. Well, Ozza, she'd get out and she'd run, but I had, the collar with her name tag and all that on it. And this guy, there's this neighborhood. They built a neighborhood between us, and then another neighborhood up past on the other side of it. I mean, it's just one The one between us is just one street. Guy calls me and says, "Have you got a white husky?" I said, "Yeah, I got sneeze. Come on." Okay. Sorry about that. I said, "Yeah, I'm on." He says, "I've got her in my fence in the backyard. Just come on and get her." Told me where it was. I said, "Okay." So I get back here and I pull in this driveway, and it's a 4.5 foot tall fence.
Might as well not be there.
No. I said, "Yeah." And I've head over that way, and we're talking on the phone. And I get out, and the guy's standing there. This was a Sunday evening. He's in a suit, tie. I'm thinking, oh, it's one of these church guys. Okay, no problem. I get up, I open the fence. She meets me at the gate. I said, "You ready to go home?" That was the wrong thing to say, because she turned around, walked back down the other way. I said, "Come on." I open the gate and I walk in. I reach for a collar. This bitch climbs the damn fence
I told you 4.5 feet ain't enough.
and just up, over, boom. And, realize there's 50 feet that I got to run back up to the gate, around, back down. And as she went over that fence, I screamed, "Oh, you fucking bitch."
Suit and tie was not impressed with your language.
No. And I turned around and looked at it. I said, "I'm sorry." He said, "It's completely understandable. I may have said the same thing, even though I'm a preacher." I said, "Can this get any worse?" He goes, "No." I said, "I'm leaving." He started laughing as he walked back in the house.
Oh, and Mr. Bachman, I think this was directed at you.
It was, and I was just about to. I was going to answer it as soon as Joe Dog was done.
Okay.
No, didn't get another email from them. Thank God.
I need to read that thread. What's it about? Fill me in.
Oh, God.
So we got the city of Valparaiso received a complaint about our job site along State Road 2 because we've had multiples, and this person couldn't actually list what section of 2 they were complaining about, because we've not only been on the north-south section, we've been on the east-west section. But apparently we cost them time, money, and gas. And to get the full effect of it, you really just have to read it, because you're going to smell burnt toast after you read it. And as Dan so very well put it during my show last night, I never knew that you could write an email in crayon.
I do have my moments. Oh, and I was out of liquor by then.
It is the most just... Actually, I can read it again real quick.
Read it. Why not?
I'm ashamed that you have to do that.
All right. So here is the exact quote from the email from Tit McFiggle. And that is the name that they actually put on the form. "These lights being replaced on 2 this last month. Couldn't have been handled worse. I thought you had to be done. You cost me money, gas, and time, as I have cops that could have been directing traffic correctly, making quotas. ... You need to do better. Night replacement, get the cops to do something, The flaggers of the contractor you used did nothing. And mind you, every time I said you, it was spelled with just the letter U. Although I will give them credit, when it was the first word of the one sentence, they did capitalize the U.
Must have wore out 3 crayons writing that email. Oh.
Yeah.
Gives you hope for the human race, don't it? Not.
They put in a fake name. They put in a fake address, street address, because my buddy and I tried to look that up. The phone number they at least put in might be valid because it has the correct area code and prefix to be a Valpo cell phone number. And I'm guessing they put in their actual email address, which it is so tempting to email them back. And use Dawn's dad's suggestion from the show last night. Reply
Yes.
with, "Hi, my name is Tat McFaggle." So they have tip for Tat.
Joe, why do you do shit like this?
Because if he did shit that you did, he'd get arrested.
No, we have a 311 system. Thank God for Google. I can make a fake email.
Oh.
The email was the only thing that actually looked legit because it looked like a first initial last name.
So
they said they did want to be contacted back by email.
They did want to?
Yep.
Thankfully, none of us have fallen for that. So
I have neither the time nor the crayons to explain to them how road projects work. Mainly because they used up all the crayons to write their email.
Well, Joe, you are going to be thoroughly impressed with the state of Alabama on I-59.
Okay.
Right now, the only way in and out of Alabama on I-59 is one lane. I-59 South scoots over to the right, and there's a Jersey barrier wall.
Mm-hmm.
I-59 North is on the other side of that Jersey barrier wall.
Now, is it normally 2-lane through that section?
Yeah.
Okay. That's how they're getting away with that.
I-59 North real estate has been completely removed to the dirt.
Ooh.
Coming back up with 3 lanes to match the 3 lanes from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
They started working on it in 2022. It's an only a 10-mile stretch.
Still, I mean, taking it down to the dirt, rebuilding your sub base and subgrade and everything, and depending on what they're putting in, I mean,
well,
I could see that taking quite a while, but also with it only being a 2-lane.
They're doing it in 2-mile stretches.
And you've got to remember, this is Alabama. There is a crew dedicated to going and putting the potholes back.
Well, that and they have better weather. They can work a little longer than we can up here.
Well,
But
Well, I-59 needed it because as you're going, it narrows down from 3 lanes to 2.
mm,
The slow lane was so rough that you passed in the left lane or you passed in the right lane and got back over into the left lane because it was the concrete,
hmm
and the concrete was doing this all the way
oh,
Yep.
from the Georgia line to Birmingham. And they're replacing it in 2-mile stretches.
well, it should be done proper then. One would hope.
Yeah, but how long does it take to dig out 2 miles?
Well, it also depends on what they're putting back in, because we're getting ready to do a 3-year project on 8094, which is a 5. It's going to be about a 5. No, it's going to be longer than 5 miles, I think. But they're getting ready to do a stretch, and they're ripping everything out down, down to the studs essentially, and putting it back in. And they're putting in all new fiber optic, all new weigh and motion scales, which is kind of dumb because we just fucking did those. Literally just did those in the last 2 years. New overhead signage, and I think they're still planning on doing the I can't think of the proper name, but a lot of the major cities have it. I've seen it in Chicago. I've seen it in Minneapolis, but it's the on ramps. The ramps coming from like the city streets onto the interstate, where during certain times of day you have to wait for it to give you a green light to go down that ramp.
there's places like that in Atlanta,
Yeah.
which is
I
why I
just can't
try to
think of
go
the.
around Atlanta by as far a distance as I possibly can. I've gotten to
Well,
where I actually like Highway 20.
Atlanta's got these wonderful. They're talking about putting one here in Chattanooga. The overpass. As you approach the overpass, you change sides.
Okay.
When you get up, the road curves over and you cross the bridge on the left side. And you don't have to stop at the ramp.
Okay.
But then Atlanta also created Spaghetti Junction, where it doesn't matter where you're going, you're always in the wrong lane. And every lane you're in ends in 500 feet. No, wait, that's Knoxville.
Oh, yeah.
Every lane you're in ends in 500 feet. That's Knoxville. They have never finished everything they started for the Knoxville World's Fair. Thesis has got a valid point. If they want to be contacted by email, I say malicious compliance. You ever heard of the Jordan Peterson quote generator? Go to the website and just replay back with a random word salad.
As tempting as that is, I've learned that
a certain politician will probably sue because it's exactly what he was going to write for his next speech.
Well, I've learned that sometimes dealing with the public, the best way to deal with them is not to deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
Hence I had to post, make a bunch of posts for the town today because normally our garbage pickup throughout most of the town is in the alleyways. And it's too much of a pain for the garbage trucks to make it down the alleys if we have snow. So they contacted me today and said, hey, can you put out a notice that, any alley pickup will actually be street side? All right. Put it on the town website, sent out a reach alert about it, put it on Facebook. As I'm hitting post, as soon as I hit post on each one, I go up, turn off comments.
Obviously, yes.
Because, quite frankly, I'm tired of everybody coming to me asking me the questions when I put in there, if you have questions, please contact the town hall. Here's the
really
number.
contact the people that are in charge of this. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of I missed the deadline this year of running for city council, but I may run for city council in 4 years. And I'm going to answer every question, yes or no. Joe, do you know?
You got to throw a maybe in there also. That way, when they say, well, can you expand on that? No.
Or that's under consideration for a future update. What I would do, according to Thesis's suggestion, is instead of using Jordan Peterson quotes, I would go to the Leet Speak generator.
Oh God.
Yes.
Oh, but when they say
I don't need that though.
And
I can still type that.
It print the email out in Comic Sans.
Well, when you ask any politician a simple yes no answer, they'll say everything but yes or no.
Yeah, they'll try and give every answer at the same time.
Are you?
If you really want to screw with them, when you throw in the maybe and they ask, well, can you expand? Just say yes and then just stay silent.
Yes, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, but then y'all won't be surprised.
But if I answer that now, I won't have anything to talk about my re-election campaign. Oh, Lord, I would be dangerous if I were to get into politics. I'm too rude. I'm too honest. And I have absolutely no fucks left to give. Oh. Retirement is very freeing when I no longer have to kowtow to what the company wants me to perform as the trained.
I would run for council enough, where they know who I am. Then I'll run for mayor.
Mm.
And they go, when they get me into the mayor office, would you debate your opponent? Absolutely, if you had the fucking balls to do it.
Make both of you wear one of them shock collars for the dogs, and if anybody lies, you just sit on the button. Lord.
I've got to decide if in 2 years I'm going to run against the current council person, or if I'm going to let her run again and then let her step down after 6 months of her next term.
I'm so very glad that my family trained me to run from public office instead of for.
I told my councilwoman, or one of my past councilwomen, she ran unopposed for 12 years.
Mhm.
And my dad, worked on her campaign. And we have this big gathering here in the neighborhood. All the politicians show up and all that. She was there. I introduced myself. She goes, "Oh, I love your dad so much." Sweet. I asked her, I said, "Are you going to run unopposed this time?" She goes, "I usually do because nobody wants to run against me." I said, "Well, I'm going to run against you." What?
And Dad's going to be my campaign manager.
And she goes, I said, "No, I don't think any politician should run unopposed." She's like, "Well, then," I said, "Find somebody to run against you, or you're going to go up against me." 3 people ran against her that time.
And she still won.
No, she lost.
Oh, wow. How about
Oh,
that? Reality does
And,
work.
and come to find out, they worked for her. She was
Of
real
course
estate.
Of course they did.
well, 2 years ago when our council was running for office again, we didn't have to hold an election because
Completely unopposed.
the entire council and the clerk treasurer were unopposed.
That should never happen.
And I waited because I am on the precinct committee for Democrat Party for this area. And I waited because there was all these people on the Facebook pages. Oh, I'm going to run as a Republican. I'm going to run as an independent. Da da da. July 1st came and went. July 2nd, I put a post out. So where y'all, where you people at? Your deadline to get on the ballot has now come and passed.
Where was y'all?
Mm-hmm. Well, and one of them tried to, they need to make it later. No, they don't. The Democrats have to be on the ballot long before the Republicans and the independents do. We have to be on before the May primary. Y'all can skip the May primary and still get on the November general.
Unfortunately, none of you did.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, fortunately, none of them did.
Oh,
Because here's my thing too. If you're going to run, especially in a small town, where we're running on a tight budget, you should go to the meetings.
mm,
Or if you can't make the meetings and they offer streaming, which after July 1st we now have to stream or record all of our elected official meetings, watch them. Learn what's going on in the town.
mm. Oh, shit, that reminds me. I'm up against the deadline to try and get the school tax removed from my property tax. Not because I don't have grandchildren in the schools and I wouldn't mind paying that. It's just they keep raising the property tax over and over and over again, and the school tax just duplicates the property tax, so it doubles the amount.
Yeah.
I'm going, well,
Tennessee.
hate to do that, but I need to fill out the form to try and get some tax relief here. I am retired now. I'm on a fixed income.
Well, Tennessee tried to pass the school board can raise property taxes for their money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a greasy fart on a wooden church pew would have gone over a lot better than that proposal.
Giving the people collecting the tax the power to raise the tax. without oversight?
Yeah.
No, ain't
Our
nobody
schools
in
in
Tennessee going for that. There's going to be gunplay.
the schools in Indiana can propose they have to first propose a referendum. That has to pass through an election. And then the actual question of should this referendum go through is on the general election. And there a couple of schools have had to do it. And the governor, if this bill passes the Senate, the state Senate, and he signs it, oh, it's gonna hurt so many towns, especially our little town.
Mm.
Because I got a copy of the financial report that they posted with it. Our little bitty town's looking at on the first year is looking at losing about $95,000.
Yeah.
Now, to most towns, 95,000 is barely a drop in the bucket around us. But when your annual budget is about 400 to 450,000, you're cutting us by a quarter.
That'll hurt.
Mhm.
Well, guys, y'all have a good one.
Good night, Joe Dog.
Good night, Joe Dog.
I got to go potty, and by the time I get back, y'all will be done. So I'm out of here.
We've got
It's gonna
another
take you
30 minutes.
What?
We got another 30 minutes. 40 minutes, actually. But if you want to go to bed, Joe Dog, I'm not going to keep you away
Yeah.
from a warm bed.
Yeah. Well, I really got to pee, and I don't know if I want to come back or not. I had enough of your bullshit, Dan.
I knew that 20 years ago.
Yeah, I got to get some comments started, so I figured that would do it.
What? You think Thesis and Zach are going to argue with each other in the comments section? Who else is awake now?
All right. Good night, y'all. I'll see y'all Saturday.
Good night, Joe Dog.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, yes, I want to leave the studio, motherfuckers. Bye. Damn. Here comes the third one. Okay.
Yeah, it's not till you hit the fourth button that they actually do anything. And you don't know where the fourth button is because they keep moving it around. I was amazed that he was here this long. Actually, I thought he would have pretty much had to go crash because he has been burning the candle at both ends for several weeks now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw that he added me to the stage, because when I first popped into Stupid O'Clock tonight, I knew the intro was running, but at first it still showed all three of you up on screen before the intro. It caught up with the intro. So I knew when he added me in, I'm like, he's planning something because I'm coming in, sliding in right at the last minute.
Uh-huh.
So,
and I actually gave him the eyebrow lift and the naughty finger shake, which he could see, but you couldn't because you were already live, waiting on the credits to roll, and John's just sitting there going, but I wanted to look at Berlin in the 1940s. I'm glad.
I figured my opening was the appropriate one. Good evening, I'm Dan Rather.
What's the frequency, Kenneth? And actually, that turns out that Spider Robinson used that as a plot point in one of his sets of stories, one of his books, where Dan Rather got beat up because he looked just exactly like this private detective named Kenneth, who knew a frequency that other people wanted to know, that would basically detonate nuclear landmines all over the planet. And thankfully, it wasn't actually Kenneth they were going up against, because Kenneth would have just shot him.
Whew. There we go.
Kenneth is one of those guys that was pretty much one of the blueprint characters for Tom Darby.
Gotcha.
Don't take no shit, ain't gonna give nobody no shit, but you start something, I'm gonna have to finish it one way or another, even if I have to cheat. I can't wait. I really can't wait till people read the Tom Darby prequel to Abducted. I did have to rewrite parts of it, Abducted, so that it did make sense with the altered timeline, because when I originally wrote that, it was a one-off. He was supposed to be 20, 25 years old, totally inexperienced, and then the character just kept intruding into stories and kept getting older and more experienced, and I don't want to say more vicious, but after working with the spooks during the entire Cold War, he was not unused to encounters with unfriendly characters and random women going, "You haven't made a pass at me, and we've been together all day. I'm taking you to bed right now." And I'm going, "Hero, be polite. Wait for them to go, are you going to fuck me or not?" I don't put it in that coarse of language in the stories. And basically everything happens off screen, but it is mentioned on screen. You have to use your own imagination as to who's doing what to whom. And I'm quite fine with that. I mean, I write porn the same way that J.R.R. Tolkien would write porn. And then they went off into the forest to have a party.
And what a great party it was.
Oh. Yes, and several elf maidens found themselves walking funny and having hobbity-looking kids later. No, it's just I feel uncomfortable writing more explicit stuff than that. It my idea of romance and sex in a book is for it to be like 1940s style, where fade to black and giggles are heard and then scene change to the next day. That's the level I'm comfortable with. I mean, God bless Michaela, she's able to put more explicit stuff in her books, because, I could do that, but it wouldn't be realistic for me. It wouldn't feel normal. Every time a character has had sex in one of my stories, it's been one of those things, basically either fade to black, giggle next morning, or somebody else notices that she got out of his bedroll and then went to make a cup of coffee at the campfire. This is significant, but it's none of my business. They're adults. They can do whatever they want to do. even when there's a love triangle, it's kind of one of those things where somebody just goes, um, I guess tonight was your turn. Maybe my turn tomorrow. I don't know. Depends on her, whatever she makes up her mind for. Um, let's just have breakfast, okay? Um, that's good enough for me. Um, the suggestion is as powerful, if not more so, than the implied, the explicit statements of what went on. Do you really want to know who put what where, how many times in a
Mhm.
story I wrote? Probably not. Other writers it works for. I admire them for it. Um, it's not that I am uh, squeamish or unable to think pornographically, because believe me, I am. Green Room is proof of that when I've made enough suggestions there to embarrass people that should not be able to be embarrassed. But um, if it doesn't add to the story, just allude to it and move on to the next action scene. And I don't mean sexual action scene, but the next adventure part. I write adventure stories. I don't, you know, it's. I don't care who's sleeping with who. Uh, I want to get to the next battle, or the next natural uh, feature that has to be overcome, or the next natural disaster that has to be dealt with. Most of the best villains in my stories are natural disasters instead of somebody evil.
Mhm.
Because my idea of somebody evil is somebody walking around talking to themselves and drooling and spitting while there's nobody else there for them to talk to. Just basically psychotic individuals talking to thin air.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm that, that that that's not satisfying villains for me. I want, if I actually have a bad guy, I want them to have a motivation. I want them to think that everything they're doing is because this is the right thing for them to do. They're the hero of their own story.
Mhm.
It's it may be slightly out of fashion now. I don't think it is, but I'm not someone who reviews a lot of books anymore because I ran out of ways to say, "Hey, this is great book. Go buy a copy." Um, long time ago, I ran out of ways to say that. I just gave up doing book reviews. Uh, the most I will do is go on somebody's uh, book page where their stuff is being sold and go, "Hey, I read this. I liked it a lot. I think you should buy a copy. Have a great day." Yes, my data is at risk. Please shut up. I do not need to download a special program to protect my data. Um, I've got enough special programs right now to qualify for Head Start. Uh, um, I hate it when single use programs pop up and go, "Hey, we've got an update." Great. 5 years from now, I may need whatever you've got going.
Mhm.
Until then, please continue doing updates, and then I will download whatever it is I need and do the thing I need to do. Until then, shut the fuck up and leave me alone. I got the version I needed. I don't need to download or upload everything to the cloud. If I wanted to upload everything to the cloud, I actually do have a Dropbox that I can use. Oh, good grief. Um, I'm having problems with my emails right now. The only email program I've got that I can reliably use is my Gmail account. I can go on my Windstream account and use the web page version.
Hmm.
But when I go to Outlook, it won't send receive. When I open up Thunderbird, which is my normal email for incoming, I can't send anything. I can receive everything, I just can't send anything. But if somebody
Oh.
sends me a link, I can click on it in a browser. Um, I think because I have the incoming mail server on one service and the outgoing mail server on another service to keep from showing up as spam on everybody's mailing lists.
Hmm.
It's the outgoing server. Somebody's changed something over there and they want me to type in passwords that I don't have. I mean, I've got a huge collection of passwords for lots and lots of things, but what they're asking me for, I can't find the settings for. So I can't comply. I'm just
Hmm.
going to have to call them up and go, hey, did you guys decide that I needed to change my passwords and not send me an email about it? Because that has happened before several years
Hmm.
ago. They, yeah, I thought it was a fishing expedition. Someone sent me an email going, hey, you've got to change your passwords. Otherwise, your service will be ended. And I'm going, not clicking on that link here. Go over to the link that I know is dependable. Everything's working. Doesn't look like anything's been canceled yet. And 3 months later, shit got
Hmm.
canceled. I called them up again. I go, what happened? They go, oh, you ignored our email. And I go, well, it looked like a phishing email to me.
Hmm.
So I didn't respond to it. Could you not make your official company emails look like phishing attempts? That would be helpful. And if you could find somebody in the boiler room that actually spoke English instead of Hindi, uh, yes, I'm sure you're an Indian guy named Bruce.
Right.
Uh, that happens so many times. Um,
It's like when my brother-in-law called HP's tech support one time, and thank you for calling the HP tech support. My name is George. How may I help you? And he goes, okay, first off, I know your name's not George. What's your actual name? He goes, well, for the purposes of this conversation, my name is George.
yes, well, for the purposes of this conversation, my name is Captain. All
Yep.
right? I will use my pronouns. They're not the usual pronouns, but I will use them in moments of let's not get too pissed off. It's just some guy trying to do his job. Especially when you know you called the right number
Yeah.
instead of one that was listed on some fishy looking email.
Yeah, our IT department has people so well trained that they've finally learned to put out a Teams message first saying, hey, you're going to receive this email. It is legitimate. Because there's been a few they've sent out, and I've sent them a message in our little IT chat going, did you guys actually send this out, or
Is this a phishing
is
attempt?
this phishing? And they're like, no, it's real. We're already contacting the 50 people who have submitted it as a phishing attempt and letting them know, no, this is real. We'll put out a Teams message in a bit. All right. I'll
I
contact the CI group up here and let them know it's real.
I actually got in the habit of anytime I got an official communique from company management, I automatically reported it as a phishing attempt because I'm going, hey, I'm nobody. Why should the company be contacting me just because I have a job title in official company email? I'm not that important. I'm just hourly. I'm not salary. They had me lumped in with salary. They really did. I had a big name job title and an official email that my supervisor had to push through to get everything so that when I posted something to the company directories and whatnot, I actually had permission and it was listed as an official communique from somebody in management, which I never was in management.
Yeah.
But with his permission, I got to play one on TV. Uh, I sometimes wonder whatever happened to my job now that I've retired. It's been over a year. There were a lot of executives that depended on the numbers that I gave them in my weekly reports. They wanted to do away with the job because they thought it would save them money, and they
Mhm.
thought they would be able to uh, basically foist the same duties onto the other 4 people in quality control and eliminate the quality assurance position. And I'm going, you want to eliminate it? Here's my retirement papers. Consider it eliminated. And
Mhm.
there was one person out of the 4 different work crews that was actually willing to step up and do the tests that I was doing
Mhm.
alongside the tests that they were supposed to do every day, but they said flat out, "I'm not doing it if everybody else ain't doing it too."
Yeah.
And the other 3 were just going, That ain't my job. Had nothing to do with my job when I bid on my job. No, I ain't doing it. Y'all can forget that." And because they had, let's just say, several um, cards to play in the um, diversity hand, no one was about to make them do anything
Yeah.
for fear of retaliatory uh, charges being filed. So you got one person going, hey, if you make it my job, I'll do it, but I won't do it if I'm the only one doing it. And the other 3 ain't got to. And the other 3 said, screw this, it ain't my job, I'm not doing it. That was the way it was when I walked out the last day. With a
Yeah.
whole lot of surplus equipment that my supervisor says, "Look, we're just going to throw this stuff away once you leave. If you want something, fill out a scrap request, show it to the gate guard on your way out. Filled out a scrap request, got the
Mhm.
little form, didn't go by the gate guard at all. I just went home. What are they going to do? Call me back?"
Right. What are you going to do? Fire me? Go for it.
Really? The union would love that. Here's this guy that just retired. You're going to try and fire him? Malicious noncompliance. Uh, ah,
Oh.
if it was
Yeah.
something, if it was a rule that was sensible, I would follow it. If it was
Mm,
just, this is a way to generate more paperwork, I'd usually get the paperwork filed and then the rest of it I'd just ignore. I mean, seriously, there's no need for the gate guard to know I've got a bunch of scrap pieces of lumber off the top of several pallets that I'm taking
mhm,
home to cut up as firewood or um, whatever I wound up using it for. Hell, we had one guy had his entire yard stacked up with old pallet boards and stuff that he collected and just put in his truck and took home. Didn't even bother to file the paperwork.
mhm.
Well, not going to say a thing to him because, well, reasons. Um, you don't want to get the. Uh, well, let's just say several alphabet agencies that are implied in concerned with equal rights and things like
Mhm.
that. Um, and you sure don't want to get the union involved because they've got more money for lawyers than you do. Uh,
Yeah.
don't care if you are a multi-billion-dollar multinational corporation. The union got more money than you do, and they've got lawyers on retainer that are sitting there going, "Oh, is it my turn? Oh Lord."
Well, one of the supervisors we used to work with at NDOT, he actually went through and uh, he was bringing home a bunch of the old uh, concrete testing blocks that we would make on job sites.
Okay, so they've been
And
tested, and
well, the majority of them actually were never tested because we always make extras. Um, because sometimes the contractor has to hit like a certain number to be able to put traffic on the road.
uh-huh.
And every once in a while, especially if they're on a tight deadline, they're like, "Hey, I know this is only day 2, but that mix was looking pretty good. Could you, pop a test for us?" Yeah, sure. Slap it
Hey,
in the tester, see what PSI it breaks at, and call them back and either give them the yay or nay.
yeah, that was good, or that didn't quite meet the spec.
Yeah. And but inevitably you always end up with a ton extra.
Yeah.
And this man has gone through, and I wish I could find, I want to say that's his house there.
Well, we don't need to see aerial photographs. Uh,
Well, he has saved so many of them that he's actually gone through over the years and redid his entire driveway in these 6 by 6 by 18 concrete blocks. He built
that's
a
impressive.
yeah. 6-inch by 6-inch by 18 long concrete blocks. And they're all type C or type A concrete, so they're all good for driving on.
And these are not breeze blocks, these are solid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are just we put it into a form and vibrate it, smooth it out, and once it, cures, we test it, see what the PSI breaks at. And some of them, they cure so much that testing unofficially will say, well, once you hit this number, just cut the hydraulic. Because if you go much above that number, you run the risk of breaking the testing machine.
These are so good, you can mess up your equipment. So,
Yeah. So generally, if I remember spec correctly, I think it's like 550 PSI to be able to put traffic on it. Once we hit about 650, we'll just turn the little knob to release the
turn the
hydraulic.
hydraulics off. Yeah.
Yeah. Release the hydraulic pressure, and it makes the nice little line with the pen, that makes it still look like it broke, because the pen will just drop straight down across the page to mark your spot, but
Didn't break the block. It's just
no.
didn't break the equipment either.
Yep.
It sounds like about the perfect thing to build a bomb shelter out of in the backyard.
He pretty much did. He built a shed. One of the last projects I worked with him on, we were doing a project on Broadway, and every time we had leftover beams, he'd take them, throw them in the back of his personal vehicle, which was funnier in hell because you're just watching that poor car. It's sitting like this, and he'd take them home and stack them up. And once he had enough, him and his kids built a shed out of them. It's like, well, tornado rips through Gary, Indiana.
We know what's still going to be standing.
Yeah, no shit. Because he even went through and marked out the space, marked out on the top of each one, and was drilling down through them and adding
rebar. Yep. Smart man.
So, and that was, I think that one was mostly built out of Class C concrete, which is the strongest class that we use. That's normally like your bridge decks and stuff. But
I've seen cars hit that kind of stuff and only chip off like a 1/4 inch off the top. And I'm going, they were going at 70-something miles an hour, and they only flaked a little bit off the top. These are people I want building my bomb shelter. Yes, sir. Of course, I don't have a bomb shelter.
Yeah, I wish I could remember where he lived, because you can actually see in the overhead view, you can see the driveway. I was more interested to see if the satellite view had updated to where you could see the shed in the backyard.
But you can count the individual blocks in the driveway now.
You can. It's because of course he's got them butted up as close as he can get, but you can still see that seam line.
Well, I mean, you got to have an expansion joint in there,
right? Yeah. No, all we do with them at the end of the job is we tell the contractor to throw them out. Why throw out perfectly good concrete?
Yeah, really. I mean, if there's scrap and you're allowed to file a scrap request, or just go and toss them in your personal vehicle and take them home, however the paperwork works, why not?
I mean, there's no scrap request we would have to do, and really the contractor taking and hauling them away for us at the end is more of a courtesy, because unlike everything else on the job site that is, becomes the contractor's property, that's one of the things that doesn't, because it's for our testing.
Yeah, test samples
But
basically don't belong to the contractor. They belong to whoever the tester is,
yeah,
or
but
the
even our testing,
organization the tester belongs to.
yeah, but even our testing department, because a lot of times if there's not a working one out in Lake County, we have to drive out to the main district office in LaPorte, which is about an hour drive each way. And they even have a sign up above their tester saying, please be sure to take your broken and extra blocks back with you.
I imagine there was somebody at the factory that saved up all the molten glass samples that they had to take. I mean, several times a day
Yep.
they had to stick a cast iron metal pan into the molten glass stream and
Mm-hmm.
collect what is basically uh, a 1 inch by 6 inch by 8 inch block of molten glass to test for viscosity and everything else. And basically, a lot of it got thrown away. But I'm sure there was at least one person that was collecting those things out of the dumpster, and his carport must have the most amazing blue-green glass windows. But the thing is, if there was the slightest flaw in one of those,
Mm-hmm.
enough sunlight will create enough heat in any bubbles that were in it for it to shatter. I had a friend,
Oh.
I had a good friend, he and I were roommates for quite a while. He had one that he collected and set on his coffee table in his living room. And there
Mm-hmm.
was enough sunlight coming in through the living room windows where about 2, maybe 3 years after he got the thing, he came home from work one day and the little glass brick had shattered into a billion pieces on his coffee table, and
Oh no.
he had to get the vacuum cleaner out and put on really good gloves and pick up the
Mm-hmm.
fragments off the coffee table. But, yeah, and if the people that were really good at collecting the samples could get one of those little bricks without bubbles in it at all, no flaws.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be the ones that you would go home and go, my carport needs a window. I'm tired of it being open to the breeze. And just go in there and lay it out like it was in commercial glass blocks, only a whole lot thinner.
Mm-hmm.
And just there you go. Bob's your uncle. You've now got a picture window that you can't really see through because it's an inch thick and kind of wrinkly on one side.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, we're down to the final 45 seconds.
oh, we are. Well, let me get down here to media assets and we will do Dawn's favorite part of our show. And yep. Well, no need to ask you where you are found or where I am found. It is all on indiecd.org / whatever the frick our name is. and whatever we have done so far.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe is really fanatic about getting things updated, keeping things updated, adding new features, going, oh, that feature didn't work. I'm going to have to take that one out and replace it with something else.
Yep.
Mm, and believe me, we value all of that. We really do. Every Indie CD member appreciates how much work you do. Um, some of
I'm
us
hope.
don't even realize how much work you do, even though behind the code gives us a good idea. Uh,
Yeah.
those those of us who do not do code that we can translate into what you're doing don't appreciate it that much. I mean, I've done uh, stuff that counts as coding. I've been told just because Excel, VVS programming, and stuff like that.
And
Uh,
Aphelion.
um, Aphelion is a special case. We have a fellow that pulls um, new and updated code and gives us templates to work with.
Okay.
So basically, we go um, writer's name, story, story, writer's name, copyright, bio, text of the story into a template. And Bob's your uncle. You've got the entire thing there. You just have to save it under a reasonably logical file name
Mm-hmm.
and upload everything to the website, and it all seems to work. The thing that we have the most trouble with is uh, the forums, which is basically a bulletin board.
Yeah.
Um, it is entirely too vulnerable to trolls. We have one guy on the staff that he has decided his job is troll stomper, and he does a great job. He really does. But the code for that is something none of the rest of us understand. Just the web
Mm.
guru, and um, he's a bit like Douglas Adams. He just loves the whooshing noise of deadlines as they flash past. So, he'll do stuff when it becomes apparent that, hey, we need uh, version 17.42 of this one, and he'll upload it, install it. We'll iron out the flaws and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Aphelion is a special case. I mean, we've been around for 28 years now, and it has evolved quite a lot. I mean, there were times when it was nothing but uh, bare HTML code. There was nothing fancy in there.
Mm-hmm.
The fanciest thing was doing oh, what is the word? Not charts, not charts, not forms, but they're basically arrays. I don't know what HTML calls them. Tables, tables. And I use some of those to great effect in some of the stories. We were some of the first people to ever do fully illustrated stories. We pioneered using uh, illustrations in normal web pages. We pioneered using different background colors rather than the standard silver gray web page that you had back in 1995, um, and
So,
having fancy titles and things like that. And
so before we sign off,
yes,
I thought talking about the history of Aphelion. Have you ever looked up your own site on the Wayback Machine?
yes, I have. What have we got here?
This is the very first snapshot that the Wayback Machine took of Aphelion-webzine.com. It's your December 1998 issue.
That may be one of the first ones we ever actually had a cover for, because we didn't always have covers.
Hmm
And back then, my editorials were, "Ooh, sorry this is late, but I was busy." Um,
Yeah, this is.
and the staff and the stories, and
hmm
even back then, links to the Marinebrium, um, which I'm still getting submissions for. After 28 years, people are still writing Marinebrium stories.
Which
It's
is
it's
awesome.
it's my shared universe of a spaceport bar, and yes, it is totally awesome.
hmm
We now have the the spaceport bar shared universe. We have the Night Watch shared universe. We have, um, I think it's William R. Warren's uh,
hmm
Project Aphelion Mission to Mars shared universe, which doesn't have an awful lot of stories, but it was really good. But it's so hard science, it's difficult for uh, um, fantasy and soft sci-fi writers to contribute to, but everything is good. And then there's I want to say there's a fourth one. I don't know right off the top of my head what that would be, but the big ones are Marinebrium, Night Watch, which unfortunately Night Watch has been on pause for quite a long time because the series creator went through a bad patch and he's not really wanting to do anything else with it, which is why I've got his permission and the assistant series creator's permission, the series developer
hmm
permission to publish my framing novel that was supposed to be in the Night Watch thing. Basically, Night Watch is um, if you had a clone of the X Files and Mission Impossible,
Okay.
these are the stories. And it was written as if they were episodes of a TV series that never really got made. And they asked me to write this framing novel, which I did. And then I dropped hints into upcoming stories, and they in turn gave me editorial commentary as I was writing. It's like we were all living in each other's pockets, and my story got so much better because of it. Um, Wait till it comes out, folks. You'll be blown away.
Yep.
Um, it's it's action, it's intrigue, it's romance, it's the world is about to end, and Chicken Little was right, and it's crossover central with other historical and literary properties, which is one of the things that I specialize in, but nobody really seems to realize that. But when you when when you have Doc Savage and Johnny Quest in the same chat room talking about how to divert a comet that is about to hit the Earth,
hmm
crossover central. Um, I'm a big fan of the Wold Newton universe, so I borrowed liberally from that Imaginarium. Um, Philip Jose Farmer really lay down the rules for that, and then other people came in and go, ooh, maybe we could codify this, or maybe we could expand on this, and they certainly did. Okay, now I've gone on for an extra 10 minutes waffling about my own damn work.
It didn't help that I got us off on a tangent of Aphelion either, but find us on indiecd.org for folks. And be
Yep.
on the lookout for a new feature called the IndieCD Store.
And as for Aphelion, in roughly 3 weeks, there'll be a new issue out, all new stories and poetry and flash fiction, and I need to buckle down and do another 28. I need to do a 28-year badge for the cover. I did a 27-year badge, and I'm going, now, can I remember how to do that, or am I going to have to watch those videos about that graphics program all over again? Well, we'll see. But I can't keep just using paint. But these things, they happen. I mean, seriously, everything will wind up being perfect eventually, and then we'll change it again. This is what we do. Looking forward to the next time Joe sends me a story, Thesis sends me a story, Richie sends me a story. I don't think there's going to be another story by Aunt Donna because she doesn't cross over into science fiction that often.
Yeah.
If she does, looking forward to the absolute lack of editing I will have to do because she and Uncle Carl will make it perfect between them. I'll just have to go in and put in all the Oxford commas that Aunt Donna left out, which would get me murdered because she hates Oxford commas.
And right now she's laying in bed asleep and her eye just opened.
No,
she felt a disturbance in the force and she's not sure
just
why.
Twitching a little bit. She's not awake yet. She's just twitching a little bit. And when Carl calls her in to watch what I just said at the closing of the show,
oh, you're going to hear about it tomorrow night in the green room.
Hear about it. I'm going to feel it. She's going to smack me upside the head.
Well, so we don't make Uncle Carl, have to watch too
stay
much
up
longer.
late. No, and thank God it's not Saturday night. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to watch till he got back from shopping.
Yeah.
But thank you very much, folks. We're going to say good night. I'm going to play 2 ads and then the outro. And if you're not a member of Uncle Carl's secret humor group and don't show up in the green room, you are depriving yourself of hilariousness that everybody needs in their life to cope with the ridiculous bullshit that's going on nowadays. So, thank you. We'll see you. Should be another Stupid O'Clock and Last Man Standing on Saturday night. See you in the green room for those of you in the know and unable to be offended. Those are the only rules.
Mm-hmm.
Be there. Can't get pissed off if somebody says something untoward. Believe me, toward is not one of our great suits. It's not one of our superpowers. Untoward, we can do that really well. But then again, good night, Joe. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, and good night, folks.
To all 5 of my fans, good night.
And as Chris would
Actually,
say,
I know, I
good
believe it's
guys.
about 37 by now. Don't know why these people keep subscribing on YouTube. It's not like I'm entertaining. It's got to be y'all. Good night.
Good night and go good guys.
Hello, I'm Dan Hollifield. I'm the senior editor and publisher of Aphelion Webzine, the world's oldest free creative writing e-zine since 1997. Since then, we have helped over 500 amateur writers learn what they needed to turn pro. www.aphelion-webzine.com and read not only what we've got going on right now, but 28 years worth of our archives of stories. Thank you very much.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down. System was shut down.
Transmission overload.
System was shut down.
Transmission overload.
System was shut down. System was shut down. System was shut down.